like clearly what the slop taps into is the fact that like people need proxies in the media for how they engage and process like what's happening politically.
It's boring. It's boring to like think about
to it, and eventually totally unrelated to it, like conscripting Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark into like a digital race war because like that's more interesting than actually talking about what's going on with the W.
Yeah, dude. That's why I always say like we kind of do it to ourselves at this point. Like it's on autopilot. Like the CIA doesn't need to do anything. People are just kind of doing it for fun, for free, without even getting paid to do this. You know what I mean? If you don't have any sort of like direction in your life, if you're kind of rudderless and things are just like happening all around and you can't make sense of it all and you just want to like kind of pay attention to something so you develop a better understanding of the world, just get mad. Just get mad at like some fucking... People say I undermine myself when I say this, but like get mad at some random dickhead on the internet. Like, oh, you should take yourself more seriously. Like you just interviewed Mama Khalil. That was what one of the chatters was saying. And it's like, yeah, I do have the capacity to do interesting and important things from time to time, but like ultimately I have no control over your life. The control that I have over your life is as much as you allow me to control it. The influence that I have over you, I try to use for good, you know?
Also, like...
No one said that. See, this is motherfucker. It's true. I made it up.
No, but it is, like, a good point, though, about how, like, also... Like, sometimes, like, the media is the story and should be the story because how we frame, like, events, like, does matter. And the ways in which people choose to do it, like, reflects those institutions and their agendas and biases, and we should process that. But also, like... We shouldn't confuse like the New York Times. Like it's like about how like has the New York Times like abetted a genocide? No doubt, but the New York Times is not the IDF, and there's like a kind of way in which like
but also
and I'm guilty of this as like
and I'm not the fucking
but
I'm not the New York Times. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm trying to say, which is that like there's levels to this. Like I don't have the subscription base of like some of the most powerful people in the country. Okay, and I'm like deliberately and actively misinforming them with regular frequency. Like, that's it. I'm not saying that I don't have any influence whatsoever. Of course, I recognize that. I recognize the responsibility that I have. I try to act accordingly. But having said that, there is a limit to the power that I hold over people, and it's one that is self-imposed. Which is why I always say, like, you can just tap out. Like, it's fine if it's, like, ruining your fucking life. Think that it's actually a sense of community that you are getting out of this, like, shared mutual hatred that you have over some guy. I promise you it is much healthier for you to get out of those spaces. Or healthy for you. Like, just enjoying what you're watching. Anyway.
I actually only watch movies that I hate. Because I have to keep grinding.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
To remind myself.
No, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. It's like only watching shit that pisses you off can't be good.
I watch every other baseball game aside from the Mets because I love my Mets so much. I have to see the competition.
And it's like ironic that I say this, right? Because I watch a lot of Fox News, but like there's utility to that, right? There is no utility in being a guy that has no opinions whatsoever. Being a guy that has no opinions whatsoever about like the state of political discourse in general and simply following along by hating a Twitch streamer. If you are like, yeah, I'm right wing, I fucking hate this guy, then that makes a little bit more sense. But a lot of these dudes are just like
they're like
I'm apolitical.
Like if they were like a guy in a crowd at an event and the New York Times was asking their take, they would say like, "Oh, I'm not that political."
Yeah.
And, like,
so why the fuck is this like the only way for you to like feed yourself some slop with the assumption that you're like learning something? You're not learning anything. You're not even.
If they were like trying to like actually learn something, like Mahmoud Khalil said, like where he reads Zionist books or like Zionist authors, that makes sense. Like you're trying to like actually do it justice and understand what the other side has to say. But if you're just like some sort of neutral arbiter who's sitting around like just hate watching.
Yeah. No, like this guy.
Or another attitude I'll take. My dad, when I used to come home sometimes, he would like have on like OANN or Fox News. OANN was what he graduated from Fox News, not because those are his politics, they're not, but because like it was entertaining. Like he was able to maintain, like it didn't like piss him off, even though these people were like an ascendant in power.
Yeah.
Like he was able to, I don't know if he would still feel this way admittedly today, but for a time it was like entertainment. Like it was like a way of
Yeah.
Like seeing the seeing how opposite they view everything. And
I know,
how
but your
goofy
dad
it
has
is.
a worldview.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
this contradicts
He's a-
that
yes,
worldview.
he's
Like, I watch Fox News because, like, they disseminate propaganda that I disagree with, or I want to understand, like, what the right wing is thinking, what they're saying, what they're doing. I don't have a robust political movement that has any sort of, like, power in American politics. Like, there's like one analog right now, and he's getting fucking constantly slaughtered by the media endlessly. And those guys even like that guy, actually. Yeah. Ironically enough, the very same people who are like, oh, I fucking hate Hassan Piker, will then sometimes turn around and be like, I really like Zoran because of what he said about Israel. Why is everybody going to Israel? I don't understand. Like, so it doesn't like click in their heads. And then there's this, I guess, like no, I love watching cringe. You're cringe. It's like, no, you're telling yourself that. Like that's not going to you can't like wish cast this into existence, but just like repeating it in fucking Discord circles. That's it. You're just telling on yourself when you say that. Like the guy saying that is an Asmongold watcher. You know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, I'm cringe to you. That's fine. Anyway, buy the River Plate Icon Terrace jersey. What is that? I don't even know what that is. All right, let's talk about the ICE raids.
In California, and a new showdown over the Trump administration's crackdown on immigration. ICE agents raided 2 farms yesterday near Los Angeles, and at one of them, workers were lined up against a wall. Neighbors and others came out to protest. ICE agents used smoke canisters and what appeared to be tear gas on the crowd. This all happened in Camarillo, California, north of Los Angeles. Carter Evans is there. Carter, good morning.
100% hate watching stuff is horrible for your mental health. Like, most people who hate watch or just tune into super negative content all the time fucks your brain up. Except for Brace Belden, who has managed to watch pure mind-melting content, not only to remain sane, but also rise above and become a guru of content that makes you schizophrenic.
I'm gonna be honest.
I wouldn't say he's mentally sane.
Yeah, he's like, you need to check yourself, dude. Like,
yeah.
Brace is operating, like, his thetan levels these days are.
They're
up there.
I would not point to Brace Belden as a mentally sane man. He does not strike the top 10 list of mental sanity.
Yeah, he's saying like the Joker.
Yeah.
Like another portrait of sanity.
Yeah. He's great. I just wouldn't say he's sane. I love him. Love him. Not a sane guy. Anyway, let's watch this.
Good morning, Vlad. This is the entrance to the farming complex here, and actually relatives have been out here all night. They're in cars nearby right now. They're hoping that loved ones may still be hiding inside, and we've actually heard that a couple came out overnight. Now, over the last few months, actually a couple of months, we've had a lot of activity in the streets, some tense moments, and yesterday it spilled out into the farm fields. Angry protesters clashed with mass federal agents Thursday during an immigration raid at a cannabis farm north of Los Angeles in Ventura County. Witnesses say agents tossed smoke bombs at protesters.
They threw one under the car, and then all the car inside, it got full of smoke.
As the situation escalated, agents deployed what appeared to be tear gas, sending much of the crowd running.
There's got to be a better way than the way that they're acting right now.
Some appeared to throw rocks at government vehicles. At one point, a man appeared to be firing a gun, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Melissa Tapia says she was waiting to hear from her family who worked at the farm.
The thing I don't get, like, in that instance, it does seem like they're obviously like law enforcement agencies, but like, there is gonna inevitably be a moment where like someone legitimately doesn't realize that it's like an actual federal agent that's doing the kidnapping.
Look what Mahmoud said earlier today about how like he wasn't sure that he had been captured by the government until he was at Federal Plaza.
Yeah, like what's the expectation there? Like, is it open season? Like, because that's like there's a reason why cops reveal that they are cops. Okay. There's also a subsequent reason why impersonating a federal law enforcement agent or a law enforcement officer is illegal, is heavily illegal, right? Because Like, you don't fucking know.
Yeah.
You don't know if the motherfucker's in plain clothes. Like, there's a reason why you need an arrest warrant or some kind of warrant or some kind of real reasoning for the detention. Like, otherwise, you have these stories where there are already people that are running around and impersonating federal law enforcement agents and, like, you know, trying to rape people and shit. Like, when that happens more and more frequently, I suspect that there's gonna be more people who are like, nope, I'm gonna defend myself. What the fuck? Oh, I know what this is. Hold on.
Brother, they took his phone away. They're banging on there, not letting people out.
In neighboring Santa Barbara County, another raid targeted a second cannabis farm owned by the same company.
What about the children that are going to be taken from their family?
On Monday, agents swept through MacArthur Park in Los Angeles with military trucks. The latest show of force after last month's crackdown included agents chasing workers in the fields.
We don't want to do it where we take all of the workers off the farms. We want the farms to do great.
Last week, President Trump said he would allow undocumented migrants to stay in the country if farmers would vouch for them. But Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins said Wednesday that farm workers would not be given amnesty from deportation.
This president has been unequivocal first in his commitment to no amnesty, his commitment to mass deportations, his commitment to securing the border.
Now, it's unclear how many people were arrested, but it looked like agents were leading away dozens of people. They had a couple of
Yeah, I mean, there was a literal dude who was impersonating cops that shot the Minnesota lawmakers. Like, there are people who are doing this.
I mean, I think at a certain point what's just going to happen is, to your point what you were getting at, like, they're going to have somebody show up. There's going to be a standoff. It's going to get, like, you can just imagine the situation, like, becoming out of control. Particularly, by the way, because it seems like ICE is also targeting, like, institutions. They're not, like, you know, running up on people at the street or just at their homes. Like, they're going to places where there's lots of people. Like, they're... Like, it seems like their strategy, frankly, is to maximize these kinds of confrontations as much as it is to maximize the impact of the deportations or whatever. Because they're not going to hit those ambitious quotas they want. So it just seems like they're stirring as much shit up in the process as they can.
Well,
now on social media, Customs and Border Patrol said that 10 juveniles were found in the facility. All of them were undocumented. And as for that man who was seen with the gun, well, the FBI is now offering a $50,000 reward for help finding him. Dana?
All right, some really disturbing images there. Carter, thank you very much.
they're quiet quitting. I hope they loudly quit. I hope they all quit.
To a Fox News alert, the FBI is ordering a 50...
I think, like ICE agents feeling uncomfortable is not a bad thing. Like, it's the most peaceful solution to a problem that historically has only been dealt with through, like, military intervention. Like, what are we talking about?
And also, like...
The only historic equivalence that you can point to in this regard is, like, the one that immediately comes to mind is obviously Nazi Germany, you know? Ken Klippenstein reported a migrant farm worker died due to injuries sustained in this raid. No, I know. We're going to talk about that.
$50,000 reward.
It's kind of like BDS. It is the most peaceful way of dealing with this unimaginably evil, unimaginably violent state doing the worst crime of all time. Well, if you stand in opposition against that, like you just want the issue to press. You want the issue to grow. You want the issue to turn into a much larger problem that can only be dealt with like through like military intervention.
Well, now also with the ICE stuff that's like kind of like getting into the mix is that it is like becoming itself like militarized, not just for the purpose of deportations. Like, you know, when you saw, I'm assuming you saw that photo of all the dudes in the van and that one guy who had tactical Vans on. Like, I was stunned. I could not believe that these such a thing. This guy had like tactical Vans sneakers.
Why is your nose blue?
My nose is blue.
Yeah. Oh, it's that.
Oh
bro.
my god! I've been playing with the fucking wrapper and it just light my green. It's green. That's so
Go look in the mirror.
funny. Holy shit! That is really funny. You're looking at me like I grew
information on a
It was
masked
freaking me out. It looks like
protester
you were
who
diseased
appeared
or
to
something.
fire a gun at federal agents during a major California immigration raid yesterday.
Doug Luzader joins us now with the very latest. Morning, Doug.
Hey, good morning, guys. Another rough day for federal immigration agents in California after facing off with violent protesters yesterday.
Oh, tactical
Dozens
vans.
of
Yeah,
people
there
were
it is.
taken
Yeah,
into
so like,
custody during
yeah, the
immigration
guys
sweeps
were in-
at
yeah, I'm
two
glad
farming.
Tactical vans, dude. It's so fucked.
I've never seen that.
So, like, point being that they're like, ICE is just becoming an expanded part of the military, which again, by the way, as Mahmoud pointed out today, they have more rights for whatever the fuck they want to do than our police. You don't have a warrant? Doesn't fucking matter. They'll lie to get into the building. Like, they'll buzz a different neighbor or whatever. Granted, obviously, like, police break these rules all the time, but like the rules exist. And they can, if they aren't obeyed and it's documented they're not obeyed, it can
Bro.
jeopardize everything. Not the case with these guys.
ICE, we're all American citizens. Technically, ICE does not have a right to detain us or limit our movement in any way.
Nope.
Okay, technically. In the books, their affairs are in the enforcement of immigration. So as an American citizen, they technically can't arrest you.
They can't do anything.
But, yeah, they can't do anything. But, how can they figure out if you're an American citizen or not? They have to detain you. But that detention process in and of itself is literally fucking illegal, technically. And you can sue ICE for detaining you, an American citizen. But the problem is that legal process is unnecessarily complicated by design and costly, and you get nothing in return. You get very little.
You're not going to get damages.
Yeah, you get very little damages in return for being detained by an ICE agent.
No, I mean, in the case of, let's say, like somebody like Brad Lander, for example, like he may end up being able to, if he pursues, I don't know if I forgot if he's pursued charges or not, but like, if they lie about you, if they do other things, but like the actual act of, no, but you're totally right. I would add also just though that like, what that speaks to is that like the way I should be operating if we were going by the book in this way and not just like referring to the de facto reality, like what the de jure reality should be, would be that like ICE can only operate with the consent of local populations and their authorities, which by the way, very few have. Even in red states, it's not such a clear cut thing.
Oh yeah,
all these local law enforcement.
No, I said that already. I said that before. That's why Trump was like beefing up ICE raids in blue states. Because he fucking knows if he were to go after red states and actually go after farm workers in the red states, he's harming the bag. Because it creates enmity, it creates tension, it creates animosity towards the administration. And they know that. That's why when the LA ICE raids were happening, he literally was like, we're just going after blue states. It's a way to punish blue states, basically.
Well, especially California, which has always been like the kind of like... California and New York City together are both the kind of grand scapegoats. Chicago to a point as well for gun violence, but still.
Yeah, but what if the agents are like really chill, just like skater guys?
Like, does that what if they're just anything? Homies?
Yeah, what if they're just like, I need the bag?
Yeah.
Including a marijuana facility. Tear gas, smoke bombs deployed, agents were pelted with rocks, and federal authorities are now on the lookout for a suspect who appeared to fire a gun at them. And now this from the U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California, who posted on X. The FBI has issued a $50,000 award for information leading to the conviction of an unknown subject who appeared to fire a pistol at federal law enforcement officers near Camarillo. And here is another shocking detail. According to Customs and Border Protection, 8 unaccompanied minors, all here illegally, were found. There is now an investigation underway for possible child labor violations, they say. All of this as we await a decision from a federal judge in California who seems inclined now to severely limit immigration enforcement efforts by the Trump administration. This Biden appointee indicating that she may issue a temporary restraining order today, essentially siding with litigants who argue that ICE agents are violating constitutional rights. So far, she says she has only reached a tentative decision, writing, It is truly a tentative. It is not final. My intention coming into this hearing, given the urgency and the weight of the matters at issue, is to issue my ruling tomorrow. But she has also said that she does not want to burden what she calls lawful law enforcement activities. And again, that decision should come down later today. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You know, this is also strange, and maybe the strangest part of that ruling right there is the idea that when did federal judges begin giving alerts to what they're going to, how they're going to rule tomorrow, which at some point it starts to make you think that it's all kind of a coordinated effort to give people time to the ACLU to have a press conference, for example.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You know, if this judge does go forward and issues this temporary restraining order, this is the equivalent of a judge making a ruling that the DEA can't go search individuals for drugs and narcotics on Skid Row in L.A. It makes
Are drugs the same as immigration, or is criminal law the same as immigration law?
Yeah. Well, if you ask these guys, it's worse.
Yeah, because
clearly that's the reason why they're doing resource allocation at ICE away from drug enforcement and actual cartel apprehension, and over to making sure that they're packing up dudes working in agricultural production. You know, the real fucking criminals, okay?
The real criminals who do a job that literally...
Which is, the real criminals that are doing a job that
none of you would do.
Yeah, that's legal,
none
too.
Of you would do.
Like, people will be like, it's weed, it's weed. It's like, dude, it's legal. What are you talking about?
And
like,
you wouldn't do the job.
Yeah, okay, you don't like it. You don't like it.
I guarantee, it's like it's, you know, here, like, a bit of, like, hokey 2010s liberalism, but, like, that Stephen Colbert clip where he testifies before Congress about, like, and I learned something about picking strawberries. It's really, really hard.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna, like, shocker, Fox and Friends hosts are blasé and ignorant jerks.
I mean, they know. They know. They probably hire fucking undocumented people. They just, like, don't think it'll happen to them. And
that's true. It's been a minute, but like that used to be a pretty common kind of scandal for Republicans in particular. I think it was Meg Whitman, actually, former CEO of...
I think they stopped. Unless it's like directly Trump being like, why do you care about Jeffrey Epstein? Like, guys like Asmongold can't fucking pay attention to anything. Exactly. You think he's gonna do like a long, in-depth analysis on like the impacts of tariffs? Or like why Trump is doing it? No, he just wants to sit there and go, yeah, based, he's owning Brazil, you know? Yeah. So for guys like that, it's a necessity, it's a must that there is like a good villain in this story, and I happen to be that person, I guess.
Well, and for their audiences, again, it's about how it's like, listen, they cannot explain what's going on with the price of eggs. The tariffs, forget about it.
Yeah.
Genocide in Israel, that's cuck loser shit to know the details of. However... There is like this guy who you can like train your energy on, whether it's hate or, you know, even like for some people affection, surely in a disturbed way. But like it's you know, that's the proxy. That is like it is not thinking about, not engaging with like anything we would call the real world.
It's true. Yeah. Hassan is raising the price of eggs. He's controlling the media, especially bad empanada as well.
It's like if I got pissed at Tyrese Halliburton for like doing anything other than like embarrassing my Knicks. Like it's like it's not what the issue is here. Clearly there's other stuff. Clearly other things are responsible for the other problems.
Yeah, it's like watching, like figuring out what Tyrese Halliburton's food order was and then getting mad about it. Being like, he's a fucking piece of shit.
You say that, but there's absolutely a bunch of people in Manhattan who...
Yeah, those people should be fucking sedated, bro. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna say...
Those are Knicks fans you're talking about. Watch yourself, dude.
Yeah, but like, dude, they need to be sedated for their own good. You know what I mean? They're getting too excited. They shake too much. They're gonna...
Well, yeah, I mean, that is actually kind of an interesting point, though, like, about how it's not just in, like, politics or YouTube and stuff, but, like, you do see this dynamic, like, everywhere now. And, like, sports is actually kind of a good example to put it, because, like, if you're not talking about the game, then, like, you're talking about all of these things that are actually, like, kind of orthogonal. It's also, like, being pissed at you is, like, a really good proxy for being pissed at, like, the state of politics, no matter what your specific vantage point is at. And that, like, a huge amount of what passes for, like, not, like, the political discourse, but...
Pro-Trump propaganda, and then, like, turn it around and saying, I'm sorry. I did not know. Like, they got MAGA bisexuals? That's weird. Like, I feel like you can be gay and MAGA, right? But I feel like bisexuality is like the least MAGA you can be. You know? At least she's sorry. I guess Nancy Mace is bisexual.
My principal told me, and I didn't question it, and I walked in a straight line, and I didn't use critical thinking skills, okay? I didn't read Project 2025. I have a disabled child. I'm a single mom of 3. I believed what he said in his campaigns, and I fucked up, and I'm sorry, okay? Now, we're wanting accountability across the board. It starts with the people like me that made a mistake. I'm admitting it. The first step to progressing in anything is admitting that there is a problem. There was a problem in my judgment. I did not do my due diligence in my research, and I voted in a system that I had not enough awareness and knowledge of until shit started hitting the fan. So if you come for me in the comments and you start all of this hatred because what
I mean, I respect it. I respect it. Yo, you know. I look, man. Hey, no matter where you turn it around from, you know, I'll take it. Don't say Logan Paul ass apology. Dude, we need people like this. You know, everybody fucking turns at some point. I'm not gonna discount it. Hold on. What are the chances she votes Republican next cycle? Who knows? I hope not. It would be a huge loss for the country if we lost Dan Bongino at the FBI. Oh my God.
What we have right now are the people that voted for Trump and that are hiding and that they don't agree, like me, like I was until I'm making this video right now. And then we have the people that didn't vote, and then we have the people that voted for someone else, okay? And then most of all, what we have are citizens of the United States, we the people, complaining that this administration needs to take accountability. We start by leading by example. Okay, so if you come for me in the comments with hatred and
she's already listening to Latino music. She already got Latino music in the background. She's been taken over by the mind virus. She's woke.
Resentment, because what you have is a resentment for the people that voted for this, that you're a part of the problem. Please accept my apology so we can unite, come together, and move on. Let's lead by example. I fucked up. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's what else do you expect, man? Only time will tell where her journey goes. Great. How do Dems lose people like this? What do you mean? They suck dick and ass and shit and piss, okay? What are you talking about? If the Democrats were a remotely competent party that was actually even a fraction as interested in winning as they are in, like, I don't know, killing any sort of leftist momentum, they would be doing LeBron numbers every fucking year. Okay? Even on off election years, they'd just be shooting up threes for no reason. Like, they just suck. They suck. They suck so bad. Wake up and smell the fucking roses. And it's not actually roses you're smelling. It's dookie. Okay? You're smelling dookie. Straight from the doo-doo ass of the Democratic Party. They suck. They lost to Trump twice, man. They lost to Trump twice. Not once, twice, motherfucker. Are you kidding me? It's crazy. They fucking suck. This time it was like they were so desperate to keep murdering children. They were like, we have to keep murdering Palestinians. Like, we have to keep slaughtering Palestinian children. We have to. You don't understand. This is what I live for. That's what they said.